Good evening, NorCal Carters. This is Jason, and it is Monday, July 27th, and this is our weekly update. And it's good. There's a lot of racing going on. We're back on a modified schedule, but it sure is a lot better than a no schedule. And we have a lot of events coming up, and we had a few events going on last weekend, so that was a lot of fun. But first of all, thank you. I mean, this is our 88th episode, and I should probably look back to see when I actually started this. It was sometime mid last year, and the guys over there at Kart Pulse, they were really the kind of the shove to getting this podcast going for NorCal and NorCal Carters. So thank you to James and Davin over there at kartpulse.com. And again, 88 episodes. So some of them are good, some of them are bad, but we just keep plugging away. And now that we have a lot more racing going on, they're just going to get better. And we'd like to thank our current sponsor. Our current sponsor for this week's show is TB Kart. So that's TB Kart. And their website is tbkartusa.com. And they've been a supporter of the NorCal project for pretty much since the beginning, almost 5 years now. And you'll see a number of videos that I've done in the past for another company. And the TB Kart was profiled in those videos many times. And thank you to Farshad. And thank you for the support. We appreciate it. And again, this week is the sponsor, TB Kart USA. And right now they have a sale going on all new inventory and chassis. The sale ends on August 5th. But if you contact me, I can put you in direct contact with the importer. Again, they have a sale going on. It ends on August 5th. So if you're thinking about buying a new chassis, they offer a mini chassis, which is your cadet size. They offer 206 chassis. They offer a KA100 chassis. They offer shifter chassis and tag chassis. And if you like green, then it may be a good option for you. Again, that's TB Kart. So I'm old. I call it Tibby. And today I was actually talking to someone else from the 90s karting scene. And they asked me, what kind of kart do you have? And I told them, I got a Tibby kart. And I always say it Tibby, T-I-B-I, even though it's currently TB. And he started laughing. He goes, I remember those karts. And we both started talking about the red bodywork and the light green frames that they had back then. So the company's been around for decades. And again, it was just pretty funny to kind of just reflect back on that. And again, thank you to the guys at TB Kart USA. We do appreciate the support, and it helps keep this show going. And you've been a huge part of some of the videos I've done for another YouTube page. So thank you. It's much appreciated. And, we're always looking for sponsors. So it's, weekly sponsors or a show sponsor, event sponsors. If there's a certain event you would like some coverage. Now, I'll be honest, that's not my forte. I'm not a race announcer, and but I do like to show the other side of karting. I like to go around the pits. I like to talk to people. I like to do a lot of interviews. So if you think that style might fit into your marketing plan, reach out to us, and we could put together some pricing and some packages, big or small. And I have a pretty laid back style. And you have to appreciate that style if you want to attach your name to it. Maybe you don't want to attach your name to it, but you want to help out. We also do donations. So we have a PayPal link. It's paypal.me/NorCal Carters. We appreciate donations. And it just keeps this project rolling. We have a lot on the books to get done. We're working on user guides, getting into karting guides. I'm in discussion with a couple of different companies for intro kart days and rental karts. again, the whole idea of NorCal Karters is to get people into the sport, keep them into the sport, is not just talking about the upcoming events and how great we were, or, oh, that was a great weekend. That's only a small part of it. There's a whole group out there that may never ever race, but it's just so hard to get into it. So if any of that seems very interesting and you'd like to be a part of it, again, reach out to me for sponsorship, and we can put something together for you. So with that being said, the past week, again, the race calendar was busy. As far as our direct sponsors, I mean, there were 3 events going on. I mean, we had the Cckra, which is the Central California Kart Racing Association. They were down at Buttonwillow, and they had an event going on. And thank you to the Cckra guys. You know, they sponsor our calendar. And without these clubs that help the calendar, it, quite honestly, it just kind of takes the motivation out of it when every single month you're writing a check and you're not making money. NorCal Karters is not intended to make money or draw in income. The idea of NorCal Karters is just to keep the information in front of people to get more people into karting. My other side businesses that I do, those are intended to have my income. But NorCal Karters, I just need to build it to a spot to where it's self-sufficient, it's sustaining. If someone wants to come in and take it over and take it to that next level, then the infrastructure is there in place. So that's what we need the donations and the sponsorships for. So the Cckra, thank you very much. Again, they were at Buttonwillow this past weekend. Also this past weekend, Northern Nevada Kart Club. So their website is NNKCreno.com. And if you're asking yourself why I'm mentioning the websites, again, Northern Nevada Kart Club, they are also a sponsor of our calendar at norcalkarters.com/calendar. And when you go to the calendar and you click on a race link, and if it's filled with information and registration links, etc., then you know they're supporting the website, because that's how we do it. Now, right now, I did remove a lot of clubs, and the only reason was with the whole COVID thing going on. The calendar was getting so messy because there were so many ghost events that just have not been rescheduled, have not taken place. So I had to make the decision to take them down and clean up that calendar. So everything on the calendar right now is as accurate as I can make it and up to date. So it's more useful for the racers and for new people getting into the sport. You don't want to click on an event, go out to the track, and then there's nobody there. And then someone says, oh, yeah, that event got canceled. So I left the sponsors up. I stayed in touch with the sponsors. They've been great at giving me their updated race calendars. So it's a little bit of a lean calendar right now, but that is why. So if your club is missing, if your event is missing, if you're doing a swap meet, if you're doing a seminar, I don't care. If it's karting related, reach out to me, and we'll get it back on the calendar for you. And as the other past weekend, non-karting related, there was a Gears and Grind event. It's in our local town of Galt, and it's basically a car show in front of a coffee shop. And that's really what it is. And these guys have been really putting in a lot of effort and getting the word out over the past couple of months, and it's growing. I think last month maybe they had 20 cars out there. This month there had to be 40 cars out there. And yeah, I'm not a big car guy. I like looking at the cars. I like looking at the work people put into it. I enjoy that, but I can't look in a parking lot and tell you, oh, that's a 68 GTO, or about the only car I could tell you would be a 67 Camaro and a 68 Camaro. That's pretty much about it. But they had some Chevelles out there. Usually they have a good group of Chevy C10s out there. Only saw one this time, but there probably was at least 30, but probably 40 cars out there. And most of them, the owners put a lot of work into it. So it was really cool to see. And so I was just out there walking around, just talking to people. I was supposed to have a cart out there, but I also had some guests over. So I snuck out of the house, grabbed a quick cup of coffee, and walked around the car show while they were still sleeping. So it actually worked out pretty well. But that's the Gears and Grind guy. If you go to our Spreaker, description below. If you go to YouTube, the description below. If you go on NorCalCarters.com, we have links to their page. But again, it's just fun. It's just fun to hang out. And I actually received 2 phone calls last month from a couple of different people that saw me at the car show. They called and they said, hey, can you help me out with this or can you help me out with that? And it worked. I mean, not bad for just having my shifter cart on display and having a couple of flyers in the seat. So it kind of worked to get the word out there, and that's what, again, NorCal Carters is about. So those were the past events. And, yeah, this stuff was good. And so coming up, these dates are going to get a little bit skewed, but hang with me for a second. August 1st and 2nd. These are upcoming events, August 1st and 2nd. NCK Road Racers, they are going to Sonoma on August 1st and 2nd. That's this weekend. Registration closes on July 31st. So if you go to NorCalCarters.com, you can register directly from our calendar. It'll take you to their link. You could also go to NCKRoadRacing.com. Again, I'm mentioning their website because the NCK crew, again, NCKRoadRacing.com, they are a calendar sponsor. So that's why their links are on our calendar. And again, their registration closes. A lot of guys have wanted a Sonoma race, not in November, so you don't have to play the whole, is it going to rain? Do I need rain tires? Is it going to be cold? So the NCK group, they've been really hard trying to get new events on the calendar because everyone was, thrashing during COVID because the track shut down, etc. So here you go, road racers. This weekend, August 1st and 2nd, NCK at Sonoma. And you can check out NorCalCarters.com to get more information or go to NCKRoadRacing.com to get full information. And happening this week as well, a number of drivers and teams from Northern California went back to Charlotte. And you said, well, what's in Charlotte? Well, that's the Vortex Rockfest East event. So again, the Vortex Rock East event, they call it Rockfest. And that is in Charlotte. That starts on July 30th. So just 3 days away. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, 2 days away. And August 6th through the 9th, SKUSA has their big national in Newcastle. And they're doing a three race event weekend. Meaning they have rounds 1, 2, and 3 on the first weekend. You stick around for the following weekend, and you're going to do rounds 4, 5, and 6. There's a couple of NorCal teams that have traveled back to Newcastle for that as well. So, right, bang, 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 back to back to back to back. There's the Rockfest in Charlotte, and then there's the 2 big weekends at Newcastle for the SKUSA crew. And then we come back to the West Coast, and we have the California Rock Championship. And that's Andy's crew, challengekarting.com. They are also a sponsor of our calendar, so we appreciate it. Again, challengekarting.com. If you have a hard time finding them on Facebook, it's Challenge of the Americas, but you may have to put rock, R-O-K. So rock Challenge of the Americas. You may have to put that in front of their name for them to pop up right away. But Challenge of the Americas, they've been around for over a decade now. Their official website's Challenge Karting, and their event is August 15th and 16th down at CalSpeed, which is in Fontana. So they have their, their third round of the California Rock Cup Championship. And the following week, August 22nd and 23rd, again, thank you, Cckra, for the sponsorship. They are heading to the Big Air Fresno Fair, and that's the cckra.com group. That's Central California Kart Racing Association. So you can go to their website. Again, NorCalCarters.com. I have all these links. If I mention a website, their link will be in a press release or on my calendar. So August 22nd and 23rd, Cckra. the big Air Fresno Fair. Now, I went down there last year with Team Visalia for a practice day, and I've mentioned this track multiple times because it was fun. It's a temporary track in a parking lot, but I call them permanent temporary tracks. And basically what that means in my vocabulary is it's the same layout on a temporary surface. And the Fresno Fair track, the last layout that I ran, it was a practice day. I didn't race. It just reminded me of a small Las Vegas Rio style track. Couple of hairpins, long straightaway, couple of sweepers, flat, a little bit bumpy, but not terrible. And if you are thinking about doing the rock event or the SKUSA event in Las Vegas this year, I would highly recommend you dial yourself into a couple of those Fresno races so you can get comfortable driving on basically a parking lot surface and getting used to using cones for reference points or finding other reference points that don't move around, because that's kind of the other issue. If someone hits a cone, now you just lost your reference point. And the drivers that tend to do really well at temporary tracks also tend to be the drivers that just can find that limit fast. 2 to 4 sessions, they're pretty much going to be within a half a second of their time for the weekend, and it's going to be fast. So, again, if you're going to go to Vegas this year for one of the big national races, I would highly recommend putting Fresno down on your list for at least a couple practice days and get used to it. And I got sidetracked. I do that a little bit. So that's August 22nd, 23rd. August 22nd in Reno. That's, again, one of our sponsors. Northern Nevada Kart Club, Reno. So that's NNKC They have a night race on August 22nd. A night race. Now, I'm working that weekend at Sonoma for the Rock Sonoma event. And otherwise, I would be really, really tempted to grab my dad and say, hey, we're going to do a night race in Reno. The track's a lot of fun. The people at the Reno track are usually very hospitable. And again, that's going to be August 22nd. NNKCReno.com. And also check out their social media pages. They posted a lot of videos and a lot of pictures from their last club race that they had this past weekend. So they were doing the shifter starts and the rolling starts, and they do a really nice job. Their website is well put together, and they do a good job of just posting media stuff on social platforms like Instagram and Facebook. And so if you don't even know what a shifter start is, look them up, Northern Nevada Kart Club, and just go on their videos page. And again, I just mentioned August 22nd and 23rd, Rock Sonoma, presented by Sanzaru Games. So that takes place in Sonoma, August 22nd and 23rd. And now we're going to make a big, big, big leap on the calendar. We're going to jump all the way out to September. September 25th, 26th, and 27th. The TrackMagic Owners Group. They're at it again. I know I talk about them a lot, but they're doing something really cool for karting, and they're just hitting a whole different demographic. And it's the TrackMagic Owners Group. It's exactly what it sounds like. If you own or do not own a TrackMagic, they don't care. You just got to be a cool dude or gal. And they're having their big, I don't know what I'm going to call it, the Pacific Northwest Party. But these guys know how to throw it down. There's one gentleman, Don D'Elia. I don't know how many TrackMagic carts he has. It's at least 20, maybe 30. Some of them look like they just came off the showroom floor of TrackMagic. Some beautiful carts. The community around these guys. There's Bob Eriks. He's the one that probably could get the credit for getting the group going on Facebook. I might be misspeaking there, but he's the one that I've been talked to about kind of the origins of the TrackMagic Owners Group, and he seems to be the guy that gets a lot of the credit. So good job, Bob. And again, TrackMagic's Owners Group, September 25th, 26th, 27th. And the LaPointes, they live up there. The event is going to be at Pat's Acres. The LaPointes are running point. Oh, that's terrible. That wasn't even an intentional bad pun. It was just a bad pun. So the LaPointes are heading up the party, the event for Pat's Acres. And if you've never been to Pat's Acres, it's a beautiful facility. It's like a campground, and there's trees, and there's a river, and it's beautiful green. The weather, even if it's hot up there, I don't know if it ever gets above 85. So if you're from the Central Valley of California and you want to get away from the heat, look up the weather of Pat's Acres in September, because it's probably going to be in the 70s. It's probably going to be beautiful. The track is really nice. Apparently they just repaved it, resealed it, and widened it. And I have a link to the TrackMagic Owners Group on my press release here and on our podcast description page. So you can click on there. It'll take you to the page. LaPointe was driving around in a golf cart bragging about how beautiful the surface was. The Egger family is doing a good job at maintaining it and prepping it for the TrackMagic group. And it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to talk my dad into going up there. Funny story, I bought a TrackMagic a couple of weeks ago. I didn't tell my wife about it. My daughter told her, but I didn't tell her. And I was going back and forth with Bob on Facebook with the event date. It's like, hey, when is this event going to be? And I told him, I go, please, 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 don't put it on the weekend of September 17th, because there's a Sonoma race that weekend. So I said, hey, don't do September 17th. That's a Sonoma race. And he goes, no, it's the week after. And I'm like, yes. I have the new to me TrackMagic Demon. It's a blue one, so it's a little bit of a unique color. The body work is ugly, but that's going to be changed. And so I'm going back and forth with Bob, and we're talking, and I go, oh, that's great. And then I before I even looked at my calendar, I was like, oh, that's my wife's birthday. So how am I going to tell her I bought a cart? And oh yeah, by the way, that same weekend, I want to go to Oregon and drive that cart, and it's your birthday. So I told her, and she goes, oh, that's fine. I think I'm going to go with you. So that's good. It might actually turn into a family trip. But, yeah, new to me TrackMagic and the TrackMagic Owners Group Big Bash Party, September 25th, 26th, 27th at Pat's Acres. And I'm going to call my dad, see if he wants to go up there too. And it should be a lot of fun. I think that's a wrap for tonight. There's a lot of events going on. And next week's show is going to be even busier because there's even more events. And I'm actually working on some special guests. I'm launching another karting podcast. Details to follow. But I'm working on some guests to line up for that show, and trying to bring a different spin to things. This one's just the events, the updates. I've had other guests on this show as well that kind of pertain to the karting scene or something that might be relevant or you might find it interesting. And that's this show. The other show, I'm basically going to be doing a podcast PR show. So really targeting the drivers and the teams and bringing them on as guests, trying to grab them as soon as possible when the event is fresh in their mind. And I'm really looking forward to do that one because I personally, you will not see a lot of press releases on NorCal Karters. There's so many other good sites out there that offer the template press releases after the races. And that's just not what I think is my style or the value I bring. So I'm really looking forward to this podcast show. And hopefully we have the first recorded episode here in the next day or two. And with that, it's a wrap. So if you appreciate what we do, share the show. Bookmark it Monday nights. I try to do them around 8 o'clock. Monday nights, you can check it out on Spreaker. Just go to Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and just look up NorCal Carters. I pop right up. If you want to help support the content, PayPal me /NorCal Carters. And every little donation helps. Every little bit, it goes into the bank account, and then when the web guy says, "Hey, your bill's due," or the internet bill's due, it's like, "Well, the account is sitting there to pay for that stuff." We have some subscriptions for some of our remote podcasts and our guests that come on, so we make it easy so they could dial in. So there's subscriptions for that. So if you want to help support it, any little bit helps. And again, kart racing calendar at norcalcarters.com /calendar. And if you want to help support the show, but you want to get something out of it, check out our store. It's not a very good store right now, but we have some t-shirts, long sleeve and short sleeve. And the ones I buy, they say NorCal Carters on them, so you're representing the NorCal Carters brand. But I buy the thin ring spun cotton because that's the feel that I like. They're semi-fitted, so if you're a little bit like me and you got a couple of extra pounds around the mid-waist, they're not Euro skinny and you're not going to look weird in them. But they are light and they breathe really nicely. What's up, Bob? Bob's saying hi, Bob Eriks. You're going to have to rewind about 5 minutes. I just talked about the Pat's Acres thing. So, so for future shows, if you, again, go to Spreaker.com, type in NorCal Carters. I do have a chat option where we could chat back and forth during the show. And although I don't hear it go off, so I should probably work on that a little bit. And that's going to be a wrap. So thank you, everybody. Again, 88 shows. This one is wrapping up, so it will be the 88th episode. So I guess it's actually an episode, not a show. Only one show, 88 episodes. And last shout out to our current sponsor, tbkartusa.com. Thank you for the years of support. All right, guys, have a great, great, great evening.